I just got back, not just, it is Thursday. I got back Monday morning from HYROX DC, and we're going to do a recap of all things DC weekend. First, let's start with my mic. I 3D printed this mic stand holder with my printer. I have a bamboo, I think it is, 3D printer, a mini one, A1. And so I printed this because one, I'm going to try the cover. I didn't want to put it on my chest. I move a lot, talk with my hands. So I was like, let's see how we do with the mic holder. I've seen people put it on spatulas and all kinds of different things. But then I was like, oh, let me 3D print something. So here we are holding my new mic holder. So let's see how this goes. All right, DC weekend. So we left out of Greenville on Friday morning around 10. And it's about an hour and 45 minutes from here. Charlotte is about an hour and 20. So we were able to get a direct flight. 20 minutes, probably difference. Why not? We got there, parked, we had to go up one flight because we parked on the bottom floor. Well, Antavis was like, let's just take the elevator. I was headed to the stairs. He had a suitcase with wheels, and then I just had my HYROX backpack. So I'm like, about to walk up the steps. So we get on the elevator and it doesn't move. So I'm like, do you feel anything? He's like, nope. So we hit I think it was level 2. And then we hit all the other buttons. Level 2 didn't even light up. The other ones lit up, but we still weren't moving. So he called or grabbed the phone, called the operator. And then he put us on hold. And then he's like, wait a second. He came back and he's like, I'm going to send the officer to y'all. And so we waited. He came, asked which one we were in. He did something, and then we started moving. So we got off, thank God. When we're on there, I'm like, I videoed a little bit, and then I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like, this would happen. I see the whole weekend flash before my eyes, like stuck on the elevator in Greenville, not able to race in DC, the worst. But I'm just like chuckled by it because, of course, this would happen. But anyways, we got off. We were on there for less than 10 minutes. And then we got on our flight, easy flight, got into New York, got to our hotel about 1. Our flight landed it was a little bit late, but it was only about like 10 minutes. And then our flight landed. We Ubered to the hotel. We stayed at the Embassy Suites right there near the convention center, which was so close and convenient. And we had a great room. Of course, Embassy Suites, they have breakfast, hot breakfast. So that was great and amazing. We stayed at one in Florida, which the breakfast was not the best. Normally, Embassy Suites, you have the omelet bar. They didn't even have an omelet bar when we went to Florida. So I was like scarred from that because that was just a couple months ago. But this one was perfect. So we got checked in. We had to change real quick because we had the Power Up event with Peloton, HYROX, and Hilton. So we changed. We had a little bit, it wasn't far of a walk, like maybe a half a mile. We went to the Hilton Hotel, Capitol Hilton Hotel, where they were hosting an event. They started, I think, check-in about 2:15. We got there a little bit early. So we were chatting with someone else that was standing outside. I saw she had an Orange Theory shirt. So I started asking about Orange Theory, and we were talking about HYROX and how many she's done and how many we've done. And then we got to go into the event. We took a couple pictures at the little backdrop that they had. You could write like, what's your HYROX goal? And I wrote on there, for me, my goal was no cramping and then to PR. It's power in words and writing things down and setting your intention because it happened. But I'll tell you more about that later. Got our spot and mat, and I hadn't eaten since breakfast. I opened and coached that morning, and I opened at 5 a.m. I did the class at 5 and 6:15, and then got on the road and headed to Greenville. So I ate breakfast and maybe a snack on the way, but I ate some pretzels in the airport because I asked chat, like, I cramp. He's like, salty. So my focus was getting in salt the day before. Well, we hadn't eaten lunch. So once we got our spots at the Power Up event with Andy Speer from Peloton, I went and walked to Subway, got us a foot-long sub, and we shared it. And then we had the event. It was amazing. He was great. We did a 30-minute mobility stretch. And then afterwards, we had a Q&A session where everybody could ask questions, whoever wanted to. So I asked him about how he fueled for his race. And I also asked, I love their 75-minute boot camp, him and Robbins. And so I'm like, are y'all going to do another one? I've done that one 3 times. Can you please add another one? And he was like, he enjoyed it. He was going to put it on his whiteboard. Again, I'm assuming that's for the workouts that they hope to add. So fingers crossed, we get another 75-minute boot camp with him and Robin for HYROX, because I love the first one and I'll still continue to do it, but it'd just be nice to have an additional workout. Afterwards, we were able to take a picture with Andy, and then you left out and they had a room, or a hallway, and it had all the bags, the gift bags that they gave us with goodies in it. And I didn't look at it until I got back to the room. And then they had a room where they had some light refreshments. They had fruit, or no, they had, fruit with, I can't remember. Oh, had some cayenne pepper or something on there. And then they had hummus and veggies and then drinks. I did a whole video about the event. So this is just a quick recap, but if you would like to find out more and me share more about it, check out my other video for the Power Up event. I did one just specifically for that. Quickly, I'll show you what we were able to get in what they gave us in our bag. They also told us at the end, you're more than welcome to take the mat. Oh, yes, I already have one. So now I have another one. I just got it from upstairs because Antavis had to stuff it in his suitcase because we were not planning for this. So this is it's a great mat. I use this all the time. That's the mat we were able to take. And then they also had a hat. They had recovery balls. They gave us the gift bag. They had a towel in there and then a water bottle. Again, I have a video that shares all the things. So if HYROX and Peloton, maybe by also coordination with the Hilton, do another pop-up event at a city near you, I highly recommend you go. One, for the mobility and the stretch before your race, and then just to meet one of the Peloton instructors and then ask questions. So it was a very cool event. Highly recommend if they offered another city. I'm headed to Miami next. Maybe they'll have another pop-up event there. That would be great. I'm definitely signing up for it. This is the hat. I'll show you real quickly. This is the hat that they gave us that was in the bag. And then these are the recovery balls that was also included. So pretty cool. Once I left the event, I stopped in Chipotle so that I can fuel. Again, I had a sub, had breakfast that morning, had a sub once we got to DC. And then I had Chipotle. I was trying to not eliminate, but be mindful of fiber. So I just had this was probably the smallest bowl that I ever had at Chipotle. I had rice, chicken. I think I didn't do the veggies. Normally I do the veggies and beans. Didn't do that. I did a little bit of corn, the salsa. I did the mild and then a little hot. And I want to say that was it, literally. And I had chips, again, and taking salt. So I went back to the room, relaxed for a second, recorded a video sharing about the Power Up event. And then by that time, Kira, one of my friends and members at Orange Theory, she had made it to her hotel and she needed to go out to CVS to grab a couple things for the race, mainly energy drinks, in which I had stopped on my way before I left, or before I went to Chipotle. I stopped and got me a Celsius and headed to the room. So I had that fueled and ready to go for the next day. So then me and Kira met up, and then not long, Antavis was finishing up with the Peloton event because he ended up having to leave, and then he went back for the second session, and then we all met up. They were gonna eat at Chipotle, but then we were looking for pasta. They wanted pasta, and we found a GIGI's pasta. Antavis found the restaurant, and then Kira looked it up on TikTok, of course, had to make sure it's a good choice. And then, so we were like, okay, great. We Ubered there, and it was it was kind of like a courtyard, like a full courtyard. We have something similar here in South Carolina, but ours is not indoor. It's an outdoor food yard. And so we went there. You could choose your pasta, you could choose your sauce and anything that you wanted on it. And so it was neat. It was great. They gave you a piece of bread. My first one was a little burnt, but they gave me another piece and it was really good. So we had that for dinner. And then afterwards we went back to the hotel. We showered, relaxed, got stuff laid out for the next day. And then the next day was the race. So how I feel that morning, I started with my bagel because breakfast was included. Antavis went down and got a bagel and some honey. So I had bagel and honey like 6:30 that morning. My race wasn't until 10:10, so I kind of timed it out. So 6:30 that morning, I had my bagel and honey. And then the next thing, and I had an applesauce packet and I had a little bit of that. And then afterwards, I had my honey waffle that I got from REI before I left. And then the next thing I had was about 45 minutes until my race. I start drinking my energy drink. And then I had 2 salt chews, again, trying to help prevent the cramping. Then I had about 20 minutes out, I had a gel. I had a goo, the vanilla bean. I like that one. So it's a smaller gel. So I had that goo gel and then a little bit of water. And then I was ready to go for my race. Before we got there about 8:40. That's what time. I think we got there about 8:40 because I couldn't check in until 90 minutes before my race. So I got there about 8:40. She raced at 9. So we got in place in order to see her start at the finish or the start line, take off. So I got to film that. And then I walked around. We went to her first couple stations and he was like, you need to go so you can go stretch and get ready. And I was kind of glad that I kept my mind occupied and a little busy. Like, I think it was like perfect timing, enough to warm up, because once we did get to the warm up area, I ran on the treadmill for maybe about 5 minutes. And then I did some additional stretching and then we prayed and it was pretty much time to line up and go. And in my pocket, what I brought with me to fuel, normally I brought 4 salt chews. Chad said no more than 6. I think last time I took 6, but I brought 2 just in case I needed it. And then I also brought one of the HYROX gels. They had a vendor there at a couple of the other HYROXs. They were giving out samples, so I still had one more left. So I brought that, which was a bigger one, so I can fuel halfway through after the burpees, because I wear shorts with pockets and I put it in my pocket. I didn't want to smash it. So I always try and hopefully fueled enough that I can get through burpees. And then after that is when I'll take the gel before I'm going into the rower. And then also for the lunges right before that. And then if I need it to finish my last race. So I had that in my pocket. Sometimes I'll bring like fruit leather or a piece of candy, but I don't think I've ever taken that. So that is all I had for the 90 minutes of the race that I did. Overall, like, the race was great. Like, I felt good throughout even my runs. I wasn't as taxed after the ski. Like, I felt pretty good. I used the RoxFit app so that I put in what my goal time was, and then it would tell me once I got finished. And sometimes because I'm just a lot going on and trying to move fast, I may not hit it at the right time, or it may be a little off. So me tracking myself was slightly off, but for the most part, I hit it at the right time. So I use that to see, okay, how far or how close I am to reaching my goal. Is it possible for me to PR? So as I got done with my last run, I'm like, oh my God, like, I can actually get 130. So I moved as fast as I could for those wall balls to try and knock out those wall balls as quickly as I could. And I wanted to get 130, but I got 130.09. Hello, 9 seconds. Like, it's a PR. My last one was 133.26. So I shaved off. Again, I PR'd regardless. I didn't hit it exactly. I probably could have pushed. I mean, it's such a mental game once you get to the end, but it's close enough. And so the 130 time, I'll take it. 130.09. It was a PR. So it was amazing. And again, like I said, I felt great. I think I hit a wall, kind of like, oh my God, I'm exhausted. I want to say, I don't even know if it was after the burpees or maybe the row, where I'm just like, had to collect myself. But overall, just in general, like, my runs felt good. My lunges, I felt great with that, because sometimes I did cramp a little bit with my lunges now, where I had to like take a chew, and I felt it around my ankle, not even my calf. So that was, and then I think when I was doing my last run, I might have taken one. I think I took 2. So I took a total of 4 chews, 2 before my race, and then 1, I want to say, right around or before or after lunges, and then again right before wall ball. So I took 4 the salt chews this time. And then I was so proud of myself as far as like my depth with my wall balls because they, questionable my knees. I always wear my brace, whether I feel good or not. I think I just need that brace. And we PR'd. It was great. We got a medal because it was a America's Championship race. They gave everyone a medal. And then they had someone there called Gear Lab where you could get lasered on the back of your medal, whatever you want. I'm trying to get it where you can see. So I got women's open and then my finish time. I also got a patch as well, like I did last race in Phoenix with my finisher's time as well. But this medal was super, super cool and cute. You can see my DC patch is stuck to it, but we still did get our city finishers patch as well. And then we also received this HYROX Americas, a piece of hair is attached to it, a HYROX Americas patch. This race, we got 2 patches and a medal, and I highly recommend, I would definitely do this race again. The new schedule comes out Friday, and it's looking like DC may be, again, the end of this year, rumored. Not confirmed, but we'll find out the schedule tonight or first thing in the morning. I think it might be released at midnight. But so it may not be, the Worlds may not be in DC because it looked like DC might be a 5-day event, which I wouldn't mind doing it again. It's rumored, again, we're going all off script. We're rumored that it might be Utah, Tampa, and Colorado that they're adding. Denver, it didn't say Colorado, but Denver may not be Colorado. But if it does return in DC or wherever Worlds is, I would love to do it again because a medal, we already do it for the patch. Why not earn a medal too? So that was the race. It was great. After we got done, we got some merch. I got this sweater on, which means I PR'd. I know I said on my TikTok, like every time I PR, I'll get a hoodie in the city. So if you can see it. If you can see it, that is the DC. I keep stepping on the patch. That is the DC hoodie because I PR'd. And then I start thinking about it. I'm like, it's starting to get warmer and I want to wear something or have something, even though I wear hoodies inside all the time. I'm not sure if I'll keep getting hoodies. I do want the smaller version of the bag, the HYROX bag that I have, that I can carry that on a day-to-day basis, like to the studio. So I may change it up on what I get if I PR. But I do want the new shoes that they have. The new Pumas. So I may not always get a hoodie, but we'll see. We got merch, we got our things engraved, and then we went and grabbed some lunch. So we went to this burger place. It was really good. We got a burger, fries, and then afterwards we were going to head and go to the different monuments. And so instead of Ubering, we decided to ride the scooters, which was slightly terrifying for me, but got me out of my comfort zone. It was a lot of fun. It was about 2 miles or so that we rode them. And at first, because we were on the sidewalk, dodging people and stopping at the light, it was I was unsure about it. But once we got on the bike path, it was way better riding on that. We were able to see the Washington Monument, the MLK statue, and then the Lincoln Monument as well. So that was pretty cool to go and visit those different things. And it was just nice. It was a beautiful day. And then we Ubered back because we had to go volunteer. So we rushed back to the room for a second to grab chargers because we had been videoing and taking pictures for our little trip downtown. And then we rushed back to the hotel quickly, changed up, and then we went to go volunteer. That night they had the Elite 15 race. So it was not a bad shift to do, but we got our volunteer shift in. And then we went back to the room or grabbed something to eat. Went to some pizza place, which it was really good. I got pizza, and Antavis, he had to fuel for his race the next day, but he ended up getting chicken tenders and some fries. But he ended up eating some of my pizza because I didn't want to eat all of it. But it was really good. It had some like hot honey or something on there. That was great. And then we went back to the room, exhausted from a full day, and then got ready, got up the next day so that he could race. He stretched that morning. I got to see my sister who lives in that DC, Maryland area. And then we went to the venue he ran his race. And so it was good to be able to spectate, because normally I race on Sunday. I race second. He always raced on Saturday. So it was flipped. So I got my race out of the way and raced on Saturday, and he raced on Sunday. So I went around filming him catching his race, and we did that. He got his medal engraved, and then afterwards grabbed our things after the hotel. We have a membership at OneLife. So we found a local OneLife that was like 2 miles away. So he went to the OneLife. They let him shower in there. I did the recovery, the leg compressions, because again, after that first day, you're like, okay, I'm starting to feel my legs a little bit sore. So it was nice so that I actually was able to do that while he went and showered. And then we Ubered to the airport, which was again not far, maybe 2 miles, but because traffic took a little longer. And then we went to PF Chang's, got something to eat because we were both hungry. I did not prepare well. I left most of my snacks at the hotel while we were at the venue. And so we went to PF Chang's, and then our flight got delayed 2 hours on the way home. So we were supposed to land in Greenville at midnight. We didn't get, or no, at 10 o'clock, I think. We didn't get to Greenville until midnight. And then we got home we had to stop and get gas. So we got home about 2:15. So that was DC. It was such a great event. Like, again, I had posted online, like, HYROX has become more than just a race. It's allowed me to see different places, to, with or without the kids, like, just go and have a good time and do something I love, explore a new city, find new places to eat. So I'm looking forward to Miami. That's coming up in 4 weeks. Now I'm not worried about PR, and this is my last singles race for this 2025-26 race season, because my last race will be in New York with Maya for the women's double. So I'm just looking to have fun. I've never been to Miami before. He races on Saturday, I race on Sunday. Back to that again. And which I raced early, so we'll have all the rest of Sunday to hopefully explore Miami. We get there Friday, but it's so hard to like visit and explore a place when you have a race in a couple days, and the mine's not for 2 days. So we will get to do some things. I'll just have to be mindful of what I eat and how I'm fueling, but I'm just going just to race and get another patch. Honestly, if I do better, great. If not, I earn another patch. As long as I finish, that's all that really matters. So that was a recap of DC. So hopefully maybe this will inspire you to possibly consider doing a race. The cool thing about HYROX is that it's a heat every 10 minutes. So once you get on the course, you have no idea where anybody is unless you have a great memory. And me, I'm just worried about myself and fight for my life. So it's like you're running your own race. You could be running next to somebody that's going into station 8 or going into station 3, and you're going into 1. You just have no idea. So it's all like, it's not at like a 5K that I typically do where you all start at the same time. So you know who's ahead of you, who's behind you. So that's the good thing about it. It's all shapes, sizes, ethnicities, fitness levels. I mean, it's for everyone. Disabilities, they have an adaptive division. So if you're thinking about it and consider it, like, just try it. Remember, the goal is just to finish. So hope you enjoyed it. I can't wait to do a recap of Miami. Make sure you like and subscribe. And of course, I'll be sharing more tips and things that I've learned in my journey on HYROX. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.